So let me set this stage, okay? I wrecked my Onewheel.
I accidentally wrecked the Onewheel, all right?
I was fine. It was all right. I did get these rad scars on my hand, but I came in later that day. So I come in, I'm like, dude, you wanna go for a ride and get some footage of me? And you're like, yeah, sounds rad.
I don't know how you were raised, but I was raised when you fall down, you get back up and you make something awesome. Josiah, what do you think?
Let's do it. Let's do this thing.
You had a business call with Christian, like in an hour. So we're like, all right, as long as we're back, 40 minutes or something, we're just gonna ride around. We're just gonna ride around Harrisburg. So we went up the river first. You got some sick shots of me. We started going down the river and we went down the whole way past the Iron Gate Bridge down to the bridges where we just were today. So keep in mind, when in my wreck, I had a scuff here and a scuff here. I was messed up. I looked messed up, and my arm was all bandaged up and stuff. And so we had obviously talked about that. I had shown you some of the footage of it.
Right.
That's cool.
Check this out. Check this out.
Ooh, I don't like looking at it.
So I'm going back up towards the Iron Gate Bridge, and I am vlogging, and I turn around, and you're obviously picking yourself up off of the ground.
All right.
I gave myself a concussion.
Did you just hit that? Yeah.
Really weird.
Yeah, no, and it gets squirrely, back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Things are fun, but they're not safe.
Yeah. This saved me.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
I hit it right on my head.
Did you? Oh my God, why was I not rolling on? This is the second wreck that I missed today.
And then, this should have been a red flag, but it was not. You go to put your sunglasses on, and you couldn't put them on. Something was messed up about your eye-hand coordination or whatever, because you're putting them up into your helmet, and I was just looking at you thinking, I guess that's how he wears his sunglasses with his helmet, but it was weird. I remember thinking, that's weird. And you're like, I'm gonna go back. And I'm like, okay, cool, I'm gonna vlog. I need to go get another shot on the bridge. I'm gonna do that. And then I'm riding back, and I look over, and you're riding on the sidewalk, and then you had gone out onto the street the wrong way in traffic. You were on the side of the road, but you were driving, it's one way. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, why on earth would he have gone to that side of the road? And that's the part that freaks me out. That still to this day, I'm like, what if you would have gotten hit by a car? I totally would have felt responsible for not staying with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because
I was I didn't realize that you had gotten this concussion. So what this is all leading to is a concussion. So I kept vlogging. I get back to the office, and you're in the office. Christian is already on the call. You're in the office, just sort of wandering around in the cap office. And so I walk out, and Chad was over here, and Chad walks over to me, and he's like, is everything okay? Or I can't remember exactly how it happened. I think Josiah might have a concussion. I was like, is he acting weird? And he's like, yeah, now that I think about it, he is acting weird. So you sit down, and Christian's on the business call this entire time. We close the door.
Yeah.
And we sit down, and Chad's like, do you know what day it is? Do you know who you are? Asking questions. And I can't remember if you knew what day it was.
Today is... so weird.
Do you
know? It's like I should know.
Okay, so this is when it gets crazy. Cause you just start saying on a loop, on a maybe 3-minute loop, I think I might have fallen.
What? Did I fall?
I think I might have fallen was always how it would start. So anyway, Chad and I decide you definitely have a concussion and you need to go to the hospital. I was like, I'll take you to the hospital. We go and get in the car, and that's when it really started to kick in.
So we've been having this conversation for the last 10 minutes.
Oh.
But that's just because you have a concussion.
Okay.
So like I just keep on telling you what's going on because I don't want you to freak out.
Oh yeah. It's like weird. Yeah. Okay.
It's like a weird time slippage.
Yeah.
And this crazy loop, man, and it was like the craziest. That's why it was like Memento, where it was like you would forget everything that had happened. You were on this crazy short-term memory loop.
So weird.
Do you remember anything before one-wheeling? Like what you worked on today at work?
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions?
Nope. Other than. So wait, what happened? I fell off.
Yep.
The one wheel.
Yep. You fell off your one wheel.
And like, no joke, every 3 minutes, same conversation. We go to urgent care. You're trying to get out your insurance information. You like kept doing the loop thing, and she's like, look, I'm just gonna tell you straight, you should go over to the emergency room because like, that's what's gonna happen when the doctor sees you here at urgent care. Like, they're gonna want an MRI. You got a concussion, you fell off your one wheel with your helmet on, but still fell on your head.
Classic question.
Yep.
I feel like I said that already.
You did. But it was funny then, and it's funny again now. The doctor comes in, you're doing the crazy loop in front of the doctor, and I'm like, you know, is this normal? And he's like, yeah, like this is just what happens. Like the brain basically goes into this protective mode, and that's why you're like saying this, but you did it in front of him like 40 times. And he was just like marveling at the scientific wonder of it. And I was like, but is this okay? And he's like, yeah, like it's gonna be all right. I was like, can he be alone tonight? And the doctor's like, no, you know, you should stay with family or something or friends. And so I called Christian, I'm like, Josiah needs to stay with somebody, can he stay with you? He can't stay with me because of my kids. Christian's like, yeah, for sure. So I'm like, let me go to his house, I'll take him to his house, we'll get some clothes. And then like that whole thing took like 40 minutes because you kept on forgetting. Every time you would go into one room, you would forget that you were like trying to get a shirt or like trying to get a suitcase. And then you like would always start tidying up, and I'm like, no, don't worry about that. Like just get your thing. And that was like this crazy situation. We got Wendy's for you to eat, like on the way over to Christian. And I was recording. At this point, you can't see anything. It's just audio.
I guess Wendy's is actually good. Do you like Wendy's?
Yeah.
Cool.
This note's super helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, man, you got it. It was your idea, actually, to make the note.
Yeah, it's so weird experiencing time.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
But, you know, just like, I was just like, I need to document this. It was crazy because it's just like every 3 minutes, same thing. We'd have the same conversation. And it just made me start questioning, like, are we all robots?
It is the most intense deja vu that you or I have ever experienced. I'll tell you that right now.
You would say the thing, I would say the thing, then you would say the same exact next thing, then I would say the same exact next thing. But I like knew I was doing it.
Yeah.
But you didn't know, and you were still saying the same stuff. It just was freaking me out. So anyway, we got to Christian's. They wrote a note on the door, like, you fell, you got a concussion, you're at Christian's, and like put that on the door. And then it was the next morning, you stopped doing the loop thing by the next morning, but you still never remembered like what had happened that entire day. Do you still to this day not remember?
So to this day I don't remember, just because part of the loop was I fell in 6th grade and I had a concussion.
Right, you started telling me about that.
That seems like that would be really important to me to tell you.
Right.
I rode in on my one wheel across the bridge.
Right.
And you guys were looking for my car. You're like, oh, it's not at startup. Where's it at?
Right.
And so like I had done an Instagram story about it.
Yeah.
And so I think that's how Christian knew that
to figure out it was over.
My car was across the river. And then so like I wake up the next day and I have all like these pictures and images on my phone, and
you had no idea.
Yeah, no idea. I had video of us riding. Google search was like me looking up Memento.
Right. Yeah. Moral of the story is, one wheels are extremely amazing, also dangerous. Learn how to ride them properly and have a blast. But just keep in mind, like any wonderful thing, there's danger there.
Yeah.
Thanks for surviving, dude.
Thanks for taking me for all the
things. Man, that's crazy. That's crazy.
It charges downhill. And then you'll overload the thing and it'll also freak out.
Okay.
You should read the manual.
How am I supposed to read the manual? Oh yeah, I got this, I got that cut too.